Really, I had the just ambition of seeking an admission to MBA, and thereafter I completed that.
दिसते रहत नाही.
While dealing with
त्यांना
my
दिसत
MBA
नाही.
program, I could get an opportunity for being with the relate non-stick cookware, wherever industries for my implant training, and thereafter I continued there as a management and industrial consultant for 50 years. Thereafter, because of some requests, I was just trying to explore with reference to teaching career, and there I entered into Nanded campus of Swaminarayan with Marpada University. But let me tell you before that I am a proud student of EDC cell of HGS Institute of Engineering and Technology. Dr. Kalurkar was there in those days. So then, my first computer awareness program I finished there. It was for the certificate program in computer awareness in which I studied WorldStar and all that. The base was the Super Calculator was the package. So then I was introduced with one thing of entrepreneurship development style. When in '94 I joined the university as PhD lecturer and full-time teacher, I joined in the year 1996. So definitely I was motivated to venture into women entrepreneurship, and I registered my topic study of women entrepreneurship in Marathwada in the year 1996. Later on, I was awarded my doctoral degree, and thereafter my interest in entrepreneurship development it continued because of some reason for the sake of getting confirmation regarding the employment and all that. I was for the School of Commerce and Management Sciences. I was MBA in those days when I joined there. But anyhow, there was a talk that when it is the School of Commerce and Management Science, definitely I should sit in commerce. So thereafter, my basic graduation was science. So I wanted to go for MCom. So Karnataka State Open University, I registered myself and from distance education I completed my MCom. In the meanwhile, there was a requirement of getting some kind of set and make kind of requirement was there. For that I applied for commerce, which I never studied in my life, but in those days management discipline was not available. So right from just beginning, ABCD I started working, I don't know what to say. But again, I explored the syllabus, and accordingly I went into contact with some teachers, and accordingly I studied, and then I cleared that kind of state eligibility test for lecturership, and thereafter I continued with that. At some point in time, MCOM program was launched in management science, for which IT specialization was there. So everyone amongst us was told for dealing with at least one course for this IT specialization. So there I joined APTEC, I joined NGM College for the sake of getting that CDAC program was there. So some diploma in information technology I completed. In the morning hours I used to go for APTEC. Thereafter I used to go for NGM, and while coming I used to pick up my lunch, and again I used to enter the Sarkar University for dealing with that. So as a lecturer I was that was the only application I made. So thereafter, whatever responsibilities they were just being, I had to shoulder. So definitely, they were offered to me. Never I applied for any post thereafter. Only for the sake of first entry for lecturership, I did apply with prescribed format, with all the necessary documents and all that. But thereafter, at some point in time, there was a Dr. Honorable Mrs. He sent a message regarding finance and accounts officer kind of activity. He said that some settlement was expected with reference to 5-year plans, and thereafter being a teacher in commerce as well as management that some hassles are there, some procedural formalities are very much tedious. So I thought, in case we can do something, we can understand what kind of problems they are facing, definitely some kind of betterment would be expected. And out of that kind of motive, for the sake of enriching the teacher in me, with reference to some corporate practice and corporate exposure, I accepted that finance and accounts officer kind of position, and it was a great learning experience. Learned a lot. In the meanwhile, again, there was a requirement of shouldering the responsibility of president as a gender sensitization committee against sexual harassment of women at workplace. So definitely, I was there with the open mind and with learning desire to know what I can do as a woman for the sake of betterment of working conditions and quality of life for the other women on the Nashville campus, and with that I accepted that kind of responsibility also. Then again, there are basically never I applied for the sake of vice chancellor or vice chancellor acting here. So when this time Dr. Prakash Mahalan sir, who is the vice chancellor or level vice chancellor of Solapur University, he was given the additional charge of our university. Then there was a meeting for the sake of taking a decision regarding appointment of pro vice chancellor. I was not in the race, I never applied that, I never met anyone, and no one contacted me. But something happened, some deliberation that took place, and then when management council nominated my name, honorable vice chancellor, he expected that I should work for it. I could not say no, because my university, my responsibility. And since from last 30 years, I have been working in the Nashville campus. Definitely, it is my responsibility to explore some opportunities for the sake of betterment of the working conditions and, as I said, quality of work life. And that's why I accepted that kind of position and trying my best to do justice for the purpose. I hope I have replied your answer.
Thank you, ma'am. It looks like increased utilization. Ma'am, when we were reading about you, then I get to know that you are the president of a gender sensitization committee against sexual harassment. So I would like to know that what is exactly GSCAT and what initiative did you undertake to promote gender sensitization?
GS Cash nowadays has been labeled as ICC, Internal Complaints Committee. As per the Vishaka guidelines and UGC regulations, it is a requirement of every organization to have the mandatorily this internal complaint cells. Because number of problems women they are facing at their workplaces. And with reference to that, definitely some mechanism it was expected to be present at the workplace for addressing whatever issues regarding sexual harassment women are experiencing. So as I said, when Honorable Vice Chancellor Vidyasagar sir, he conducted a meeting and he told me to honor this responsibility, to shoulder this responsibility. Definitely, I accepted that. And with that, few complaints were there, we try to do just, there is a procedure, there are some guidelines. And as per the guidelines, the procedural formalities, they are being completed. So some assurance is there that if there's something goes wrong, someone is there to take care of it. Some procedure is there through which the complaints, grievances, they would be addressed and proper justice, it could be given for the sake of eliminating this kind of problems and developing a fear-free and safe environment for women to work. Because we understand ours, the traditional male-dominated society. Number of changes, number of good changes, they have been taking place. But anyhow, still number of such kind of issues, it's very unfortunate now. Several such kinds of issues we face. So definitely there is a need of such kind of a committee. There is a need for developing some kind of confidence that in case something goes wrong, definitely someone is there to listen, someone is there to take some kind of corrective action. So that is the basic purpose of this ICC kind of activity.
My next question to you is that, being at such prestigious position, how do you approach work-life balance and what strategies do you find effective in managing various responsibilities?
Work-life balance. So at the time of my research work, as I said, a study of women entrepreneurship in Marathwada, that was the title under which I worked for my doctoral study. So there, I used to ask the women entrepreneurs how they are just been managing that. Because very typically in our traditional society, some gender roles, some stereotypes they are defined, and accordingly justice is required to be given to that. And again, at some point in time, I observed that because of the superwomanitis, unnecessarily we are taxing ourselves. So both these issues I would like to talk about. Regarding work-life balance, definitely there is a definite kind of timing for which work requirement they are required to be addressed. We can say roughly 10 to 5, that is the requirement. So whenever I leave my house for the sake of work, complete switch off regarding all the activities. That is the requirement. That kind of deliberate conditioning I have made for myself. When I am at the workplace, 100% I do for my workplace, and when I am back, definitely now by getting down from my vehicle, I will just entering my house now 100% I am in the role of a housewife. So that is the basic requirement, because only 2 point agenda after 94 when I joined the university, I just respected kids, either my own kids or my school kids, university kids. So it is two. I'm working only with reference to these two angles only. And with proper planning, with proper time management, with proper communication, definitely it is possible. Now requirements of each and every job are different. When I was the president of ICC, the requirement was different. Study of different topics, study of different acts, enactments, case study, it was the requirement. But when the moment at which I joined as FAO, now again, study topics were different. The persons with whom I had to deal with, the nature of activity, the nature of task, it was again completely different. At some point in time, I was a core committee member of International Students Meet. So we used to interact with ICCR, we used to interact with international students, we used to just to motivate them for the sake of seeking admission. Some issues were there, we had to counsel them, we had to mentor them. Then again, number of issues regarding the contextual kind of changes and all that. We used to address that. At that time also, the requirement was different. So anyhow, 24/7 study was a must. Maybe topic was different every time, but anyhow, study was a must. But as I said, whenever you are able to communicate your intentions, your learning desire, whenever you are very much clear regarding what kind of task it is expected from you, what kind of challenges you are required to overcome, things they become easy. And definitely you can do justice with proper time management. You can be able to maintain this work-life balance in a proper manner. Then again, at some point in time, I was so overloaded. So I was collapsed, breakdown on the verge of nearly, I would say that nearly I was on the deathbed. I should not use this word, but definitely that was the situation. Because from all fronts, some pressure was there, some work was there, the heavy demand was was pressure, it was what I could say. But never I take my work that way. But anyhow, so as to convey, I made the use of these terms, I uttered these words. But definitely never in my life, workload, I never use the term workload when I deal with some distribution of which courses they will be tackled by which faculty members. Then I think that the negative connotation they should be avoided. That is the workplace or that is not workload. Because that is my deliberate choice to become a teacher. My deliberate choice to accept some position, some designation. So why I should take it the other way? But unfortunately, at some point in time, as I said, number of responsibilities were there. My son's marriage, it was just, I had to prepare for that. Simultaneously, what had happened was demolished, I had complete house was demolished and complete construction it was completed. I had the responsibility of headship of management department. Number of responsibilities I had to give justice. And there, I understood that I would be just doing injustice with myself, but I could not stop. I couldn't find time for just thinking what I should do and then at some fine day. So, fine day I would say, because again it taught me a lot, number of lessons, good lessons for my life I learned. So I collapsed and then with God's grace, with the support of my family and all my friends, relatives and colleagues, I recovered from that position. And then a different me, it was evolved over that process. And then I understood that when I am respecting the other's priorities, when I am just honoring the other personality at the same time, it is my duty to respect me also, to give justice because I am also a human being. So I have to give justice to me also that way. And regarding all kinds of journey, I would like to appreciate the family conditioning, the sanskars which I could get from a joint family, while just having interaction with all those number of influences of the elderly persons, my parents, my grandparents, my in-laws, and all. So definitely a big impact is there from all of them. I owe a lot to them because as is being said, behind every successful man there is a woman. Definitely behind every successful woman, definitely there has to be a man. But not enough, there has to be a family to support her, to provide some kind of guidance, to provide some kind of counseling, to understand her, to provide her some kind of encouragement, inspiration. And with that, I'm very much lucky having got some kind of supporting family and supporting environment. It is not that I am not making any kind of unusual kind of experiences. It is not that I never face any negative kind of activity. But definitely, I'm very much optimistic. I believe in God. I believe in the goodness of the human beings. I believe in the goodness of the society. And with that, always I take it in a positive, constructive, and meaningful way. And which is because of which I just from every difficulty I emerge with full confidence and full gratefulness towards the goodness and the betterment of the situation like that. As I said, at some point in time, supernaturally provided me Mahima. So I wanted to give justice for everyone. For few years, I was sleeping only for 4 hours. To near about 3 to 4 hours at years. And when I used to sleep more than that, I used to tell the travel that today I slept for 5 hours and not 3. So that was a big risk and I should not have done that. But anyhow, that was the requirement of those days and I was just able to do that. And because of that today, I'm very much happy that definitely I did that.
It's really inspiring, ma'am, and in that you said never fear. Thank you. Ma'am, as you have researched in women entrepreneurship, can you share your views about it and how it would help women around it?
Please repeat it.
As you have researched in women entrepreneurship, yes, can you share your views about it? How it would help women around?
after the enterprise starts functioning, there is no difference, there is no gender difference. I mean, minor gender differences we experience. But as and when it comes to before initiation of the venture, there is a number of issues they are facing. Like in our society, strict stereotype roles are there. What is to be done and what is not to be done, do's and don'ts. Very specifically, they are dealing with some gender differences. But anyhow, I'm very much happy that near about the last few years, definitely we are moving for betterment, and it's fortunate that your generation is experiencing number of good aspects regarding gender equality. Even my son, daughter-in-law, my daughter, when I interact with generation of viewers, then I understand that clearly you are moving towards gender equality in a very good manner. But that was not the situation when I worked on women entrepreneurship in 96. The situation was different. So anyhow, because of gender inequality, because of gender discrimination, number of issues there, fortunately, at least in few pockets of our society, we are having a terrible kind of situation. But anyhow, definitely, we can never be able to forget the less fortunate sisters of ours who are living in interior part of our country, who are just living in villages, who are just having some barriers on the basis of some consideration, some societal consideration still, they are deprived of that kind of opportunity and that kind of equality. When a woman wants to prove herself, definitely financial independence, that is one of the basic parameters, which fetches confidence, which makes the family to look upon her as a respectable member of the society. Now, number of issues are there. When I used to, I think about women empowerment and women entrepreneurship and such kind of issues. It's very difficult to just focus on a single issue because number of issues still they are required to be discussed, still they are required to be analyzed, and accordingly the betterment of the situation is expected. For a woman, in case she wants to maintain proper balance between her work and home, in case she wants to give complete justice, adequate kind of justice for her domestic responsibilities, for the sake of her own traditional kind of role, definitely with that, women entrepreneurship is the perfect kind of option. So with that understanding and with that mindset, I started my study. But nowadays, considerations now they are become very much different. But still now, we can never be able to forget the role of a woman in just nurturing the child. But anyhow, as I said, at this moment, for my grandson, along with my daughter-in-law, my son is also doing a fantastic kind of parenting. I'm very much happy with that. And that's what I would like to appreciate your generation for just taking that kind of view. So typically, women, they are just blessed with typical kind of feminine qualities, and definitely they are very much conducive for entrepreneurship. At the other side, some feminine qualities, they are just work as a barrier for women entrepreneurs. But with increased education, with proper awareness, definitely we have overcome all such kinds of barriers. And women, they are doing just great. They are doing an amazing kind of work in all areas. By that way, I would like to again express one more thought in the light of that. Nowadays, we take pleasure in expressing that now we can do everything which men they do. Are we meant for that? Are we meant to express that we can do whatever men can do? We can do a number of activities which men they are not capable of doing. Some uniqueness is there. Men are different, women are different. Why is it that we should copy each other? Why is it that we want to do our just work for each other? Not at all important. Take a measure that I am a woman. I enjoy my womanhood. I love my womanhood. Whatever I enjoy that. So I never want to copy any man. I never want to prove that I can shoulder men in responsibility and all that. It's not like that. So we are interested in a gender equal society. Previously there was male domination. Are we in favor of female domination at some point in time? Of course not. So with that, whatever God Ardhanari Nateshwar, that kind of just culture we are having. So men are meant for something, women are meant for something. They are fit for two things. The only thing is that whenever men want to deal with some kind of feminine kind activity, society should not oppose that and the other way around also. So your natural choice, your natural talent has to be respected and it should be given some kind of exposure, it should be given some kind of chance for grooming, for development. That's what is the need of the hour. That's what I think.
Was amazing, man. So, everyone has some favorite or special memories of their school and college days. So, going back to your college days, can you share your favorite memory that still brings a smile to your face?
Basically, with God's grace, as I said, whatever is undesirable, I have a habit of just finding out because always there is silver line for everything. Isn't it? So, even if we meet with failure, I take it that a move towards success the next moment. So, nothing like that. Number of good moments are there in every phase of life, definitely, which brings a sweet smile every time. Because as a teacher, number of moments they are meeting, they are just to be nurtured and they are required to be changed. Number of sweet moments are there. During my college days, again, complete freedom, being just like a free bird, no responsibility, nothing. But anyhow, we don't realize that in those days. We get that kind of realization now. Whenever we just enter into all the hassles of life, all the formalities of life and all that, married life, maintaining family and all, maintaining relationships, social networking and all that, then we begin to understand that time for learning, time for new hobbies or interests, that is not proper or maybe we are missing something, we are sacrificing something. But during college days, maybe sometimes we don't have that kind of realization. So, complete devotion for the sake of development, complete devotion for the sake of nurturing all aspects of the personality. That is the beauty of your age, that is the beauty of this college day, and that is the beauty of this studentship. And that's why when I'm with my student friends, definitely I recall all those days and the pleasure that is very full.
Ma'am, this next question is something which grab our more attention. Everything is based at its own level, but despite of it, we would like to know that why you didn't choose engineering or medical field.
Let me be very frank and honest with you. So, I was good at studies right from the beginning. And I used to enjoy all aspects of life. I like to watch movies, I like to enjoy dramas, I just love to experience musical concerts. Let it be drawing, let it be dancing, singing, everything I enjoy. I mean, I'm not an artist, but anyhow, wherever there is an opportunity of just enjoyment of all these kinds of things, I just make sure that I never miss such kind of opportunities. I remember that when I was in first standard and almost all classical novels at that time, I just finished. Mrutyunjay, I remember having finished in first standard itself. So when friends of my grandparents and my parents, they used to come, they used to ask me some questions. तू इतकं वाचते हे सगळं बरोबर आहे पण लक्षात येत नाही का तुझ्या ते काय लिटरली मला ते प्रश्न विचारायचे की याच्यामध्ये नॉवेलमध्ये काय होतं याचा अर्थ. So that way, as we understand, I could get scholarship in 4th standard and 7th standard also. Similarly in 10th standard also, आमच्या वेळी पहिले तीच अशी यादी प्रकाशित व्हायची सरांना आठवत असेल मॅडम नाही आठवत असेल. So my name flashed in that list also. The first few students who passed out with flying colors, and naturally there was expectation of everyone that I should go for medicine. I should pick up that kind of field. And like you, I was not very much clear in those days regarding what I am fit for. So I used to assume I took admission to science and accordingly I used to continue with studies. But anyhow, continuous studying and just attending coaching classes and 21 most likely questions and all that, never I was prepared. At some point in time, I realized that whatever percentage is required for seeking admission to medicine, I just not able to do that. Then I had a talk with my father and with my uncle, and along with that, my auntie and my mother also. We had a discussion, and my father. Let me tell you, today is the second day anniversary of my father. I'm missing a lot. I'm Papa's girl. So a lot of influence of him upon me. So we had a discussion. All others they told me that okay, in case you can't make it out, in our family no doctor are here. All other professions they are there. So we wish that in our family a medical doctor is required. So in case you want to repeat the 12th and examination, so we can do that. But my father said, in case talent is there, wherever you go, definitely you will shine out. So no need to repeat. Whatever was done, was done. And still you want to continue with repeating, we don't have any problem, we don't have any objection. And with that, I was thinking, I stopped studying, I was only thinking, I was reading the other books on the and then I decided that I would continue with whatever study I had, I would continue with that. I wrote the examination. So I still remember, at 2 my chemistry paper was there, organic chemistry paper was there. So for a few days I was not studying. At near about at 12 and when I decided that I would appear for examination, I would not know and all, would not take that. And straight away I wrote the examination and no regret for anything thereafter. But only just there was expectation of some of my relatives and some of my friends from me. But definitely when I could get doctoral degree, nothing. So different doctor, pro philosophy. That was very different. So I didn't have clarity in those days. So that's only I can say very frankly and honestly. But I'm happy that whatever I did, I really gave my 100% wherever I am, whatever I did. Definitely, when I put 100% I give my duty. पहिले आपला मोबाईल मध्ये गाणी लावायची आणि मग स्वयंपाक करायचा. So that one I like very much. Wherever I go for housekeeping, I enjoy that also. That is again very good stress buster we can say. So that angle also we can take that. So definitely all the basic human skills, all the basic life skills, everyone has to possess. I did the same, and I did the same.
So ma'am, I would like to ask you that for graduating students, what advice would you give them as they embark on their course?
Try to listen to the voice of your heart. While dealing with administration, academic administration, basically by nature, I am academician. I love that. Still today, whenever timetable my class is there, first I visit my school, I engage my class, and then I go to my office. Because I cannot just restrict myself from that kind of leisure. But anyhow, as we understand, whenever we are performing a role. Different dimensions of that kind of role they have been attached, and with that, again, we are required to give justice on the basis of situational factors in a particular kind of moment. So number of dilemmas were there while basically in academic administration, not as a teacher, but when I was working as an FAO, when I started my work as president of ICC, when I started my work as PVC of our university, then number of dilemmas, number of issues addressed, number of controversies, number of debates, number of grievances, number of complaints. To whom to listen, to whom to ask. The nature of the work is so complex, nature of the work is so confidential, so secrecy has to be maintained. And accordingly, every time what I used to do is, at present also I do the same. Just I sit in isolation, I sit in silence, I go for meditation, and very truly, from the bottom of my heart, I ask myself, what exactly is to be done? I know all the influences, all the talks, and all the opinions, all the views being expressed by anyone. Whatever has been done until yet, I ask my heart regarding what I should do. Because whenever you think logically, whenever you think from your brain, decision is different. Whenever you believe on your intuition, the decision may be different. So, it is you have to decide, depending upon the nature of the problem, depending upon the nature of the decision, whether brain has to be respected or whether heart is to be respected, as in case there is a dilemma of like that. So, definitely, instead of just respecting there is nothing wrong in respecting the opinions and views of the others, but whatever advice and suggestion the others are giving, keeping that aside, definitely you should think for yourself what is good for you, what is ethical for you, what is the meaning of a fair decision, what is the meaning of a proper action, and definitely you get an answer to that. Wherever you are, whatever you do, always don't forget to make the search for perfection. Don't lose your journey for pursuit of excellence. Give your 100%. Whatever you do, give your 100%. When I enter the class, I ask my students that tell me any activity in the last week or in the last month in which you gave your 100%. Let it be a lecture, listening to a lecture, let it be writing an examination paper, let it be delivering a seminar presentation. Tell me, in what situations, in what instances you gave your 100%. And then, what commonly I observe is, they just avoid my eye contact, and many of them they don't give me answers. Many of them very honestly they express, no, I never gave my 100%. So your friends do that. That's why my sincere advice on the basis of my seniority in my age. Otherwise, I respect your opinion. I respect your generation for the kind of clarity you are having. No delay of any kind in your mind. That's what majority of the cases I observe. You know what you are kind of for. You know what you should avoid. You know what is good for you. Even though just socially it is not correct, but still then you continue with the view that this is what I like, this is what is good for me, and you continue with that. So I like this kind of approach of your generation. And I am also learning from this such kind of approaches, such kind of just outlooks towards life. माझे स्टुडंट पण आहेत आणि त्याच्याबरोबर माझे मुलं पण आहेत हे माझे खूप मोठे गुरु आहेत.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable advice, and that advice will really helpful for us in the future as in dreams and goals. Thank you so much. And as you mentioned, you read the book Mrityunjay in your third standard. So we would like to know that what is the importance of books in your life and which books would you like to recommend us?
The most difficult question. Because very strongly I believe in the popular saying, "Vacha तर वाचा." I am a precious reader. वाचलं एकदा सुरू केली की बंद म्हणजे मी अभ्यास करताना सुद्धा मला दुसरं काहीतरी वाचायला दुसरं अजून पाहिजे असतं. अभ्यासाचं चेंज म्हणून वाचलं जेव्हा थांबवते मी तेव्हा समथिंग fiction form, some novel, or maybe in case I read English, some Marathi novel. That's what I read. So, पुला देशपांडे, वपू काळे, गौरी देशपांडे, सुमती क्षेत्रमाडे, these are my favorite. रणजित देसाई, शिवाजी सावंत, किती नावं सांगू ना, खूप डिफिकल्ट आहे सांगणं. सिग्नेचर पंधरा नॉवेल्स पण एकेकाने खूप आवडायचे. डेल कार्नेटची सिरीज पण मी अगदी वेड्यासारखी वाचलेली आहे. But the moment I just listen to your question, I heard your question. The name which came to me was Amrad. She is my favorite one. Amrad, Fountainhead. Atlas Shrugged, with the lady. Otherwise, भरपूर titles आहेत there. म्हणजे मला आठवल्यानंतर वाईटच वाटणार आहे की आपण ते नाव वापरले असंच म्हणाले. But you know, definitely I would suggest that you should read Amrad. I remember in my MBA days, I read Amrad, started reading that. The moment at which I finished and I used to read the pages and think about that, I felt that as if I am reborn after reading all that. She has written some non-fiction also, which I could not just go through. But anyhow, this Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged, they are my favorite works. Whitney Kamal also I like, usually on Kennedy. So that is also a good book. Then, nowadays, I read a lot, but the files are different now. Nature of just the books, UGC Act, service rules and regulations for improvement and all that, such kind of books nowadays are reading. But anyhow, take any author of your choice. Definitely, accordingly, you would be able to, and again, Harry Potter also, a great learner. Reading that, Rowling, she fantastically she has written. Alice in Wonderland also I remember. Then again, Panchatantra, Gitopadesh, Ramayana, Mahabharata. There is a lot to be learned out of all these. It gets more meaning, it gets deep meaning attached to it along with all these types of things. When we read those books, maybe in childhood or maybe few years back, you like that, you understand that. But once again, whenever after few years, you are reading it back again, then you understand that, oh, that meaning never I realized. I wish to make a mention of Fushi Rege, Savitri, that book. त्याच्यामध्ये त्यांचं एक कॅरेक्टर खूप छान दाखवलंय की तिला मोर खूप आवडत असतात. तर ती मध्ये विचारते की मला मोर कधी दिसते. तर त्यांनी तिला सांगितले की तू आनंदी राहा. मोर तिला काय म्हणतो की तू आनंदी राहा. तुझी मध्ये तू आनंदी असेल तेव्हा मी तुझ्याकडे येईल. आणि मग तिला मोराच्या आठवण आली ती आनंदी राहायला लागते. आणि मग तिला त्याची इतकी सवय होऊन जाते की ती नेहमीसाठी आनंदी राहते आणि आनंदी राहते आणि तिला मोराची गरज होत. सो दॅट्स व्हॉट लाईफ इज. Whatever you dream, whatever you want to achieve, be that. Make a beginning from your side and definitely you will be able to achieve that. I would like to make mention of one incident from Alice in Wonderland also. ती छोटीशी Alice, ती खेळत असते तिथे सगळ्यांबरोबर, बदामच्या राणीबरोबर आणि बाकी सगळे ते राणी वगैरे सगळे ते असतात सगळे तिच्याबरोबर खेळत आणि ती खेळत असते त्यांच्याबरोबर. आणि मग एकदम असं कोणतरी म्हणते की आता आपण पळूया. ती बदामच्या राणीला विचारते की असं कसं गं, माझ्या जगात जर मी असले असते तर मी किती लांब पोचले असते. तर ॲटलिस्ट ती बदामची राणी तिला सांगते की जग असंच आहे. Even if at this moment you want to stay, you want to maintain your own position, you have to run a lot. Simply just standing idle, sitting idle, you would not be able to sustain your position. For doing that, running, proving yourself, that is a must. So such kind of deep meaning that we associated with such kind of just fairy tale, small incident. So this is how I would just advise you, dear friends. Go through all such kinds of stories which your grandparents or your parents they suggested you and they made you aware in your childhood. And thereafter, so tremendous books are available. Number of authors, they are really doing wonders. They are doing a great kind of job. आणि मी जसं तुम्हाला सांगितलं की मला तरी जाऊन वाईटच वाटणार नाही की माझे इतके आवडते ऑथर्स आहे, इतके पुस्तकं आहेत आणि त्यांचं नाव काय घेऊ शकते.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your precious time. We have learned lots of things from you. Your knowledge,